All right, well, let me say that I'm just so pleased to be able to present the next awardee to you. I lived and worked in New York for many years, and so the history of the role and the impact of settlement houses was well known to me. But call me a typical New Yorker, I was really surprised to find out during this year's competition that that exact same work was happening on the other side of the country. In fact, started 100 years ago by Tacoma, well, started in Tacoma, Washington 100 years ago when the Tacoma Community House was established. So the organization was started to serve a small group of Italian immigrants that were then resettling in that area. And you can imagine what a brave act that was in those days, given how reviled Italian immigrants were and how sure many Americans were then that Italians were unable and unfit to become Americans. I think it's fair to say that this is an organization that doesn't scare easily, and it's one whose mission of helping all people become part of a thriving, healthy community has remained vital and clear through many decades. They have pursued that mission with great energy and care, creating innovative and high-performing programs, particularly in the areas of adult English instruction and workforce training. And they have been generous, sharing their knowledge and power with immigrant groups and other leaders in government and community affairs in Washington State, by incubating new immigrant organizations that have gone on to be mainstays in the life of the city and state, and by leading cross-agency efforts to coordinate and improve programs to help immigrants and their children join the mainstream of their new community and country. For the excellence of their programs and their path-breaking leadership on immigrant integration issues over a century that has seen two great waves of immigration, it is our pleasure to award the Pluribus Unum Prize to the Tacoma Community House. Please join me in welcoming Liz Dunbar, Executive Director of TCH, and I think key members of your leadership team to accept the award. Congratulations. We can just reference them.
Wow. I don't think that'll stand up. Sit down. Well, thank you very much for the, oh, yes. Here we go. Don't you want the check, too? Well, thank you so much for that very warm introduction, and thank you so much to the Migration Policy Institute and to the J.M. Kaplan Fund for this wonderful award and for the prize money. As a nonprofit, we appreciate that. With me tonight to help accept this honor and this award are Vice President of our Board of Directors, the Reverend David Richardson. Would you stand, David? And Debbie Reck, our Education Director, who has been at Tacoma Community House for 28 years and has been a mainstay of our organization. So we are very honored and humbled to accept this award, especially in such distinguished company. I've been so impressed by what I've learned about the other award recipients this evening, some of whom were already famous in our eyes before we got here, and we have learned from them and imitated much of their work in their work in Washington State as well. But we're really pleased to be recognized for our 100 years of service and particularly for our work in the last 35 years in immigrant integration. As you have heard and read in the program, we have been working with immigrants and promoting immigrant integration for 100 years. And you might ask, how have we survived and thrived and stayed with that mission all these years? Well, someone else had 3 principles, and we have 3 as well. First of all, it's to always respect the immigrants' language and culture, the people who come to us, and provide services that respect those cultures and languages. Secondly, it's that English is the key, and we all know that to be able to successfully integrate in this country, you have to be able to speak English, and that's been, again, the mainstay of our work. We have been providing English as a second language classes most of our 100 years in one form or another. And third, it's to provide multiple services in one location can improve the integration of immigrants and help their success. And you heard some of that from Illinois as well. This whole idea of one-stop shopping is so important to make that integration process easier. But we also believe that immigrant integration, as MPI has espoused for years, is really a two-way process. It benefits us who work in this field, it benefits the immigrants themselves, and it benefits the society as a whole. Today, we serve over 3,000 people a year at Tacoma Community House, most of them immigrants from Asia, from Africa, from Latin America, from Eastern Europe. We have 50 full-time staff, 13 of whom are immigrants or refugees themselves. Several of our staff began as participants in our programs, and many of our staff have been with us 20 years or more, which is a testament to how rewarding this work is. I've been working at TCH this time for only about a year, but I have been drawn to this work and to Tacoma Community House for most of my adult life. As a daughter of a Japanese immigrant woman and American serviceman, I have witnessed the immigrant experience up close and personal. Those of us who work in this field do so not for the money, not for the fame, although we're glad to have a little today, but because we believe in the social justice mission and the principles that are the foundation of our work. We are a nation of immigrants, and we appreciate what immigrants contribute to our society. Their values are American values: hard work, caring for family, making personal sacrifices for the benefit of others. So those of us who have the privilege of working with immigrants find their work immensely rewarding as we learn from other cultures, incorporate their values into our lives, and develop lifelong connections with these new Americans. In many respects, our staff are like a microcosm of our American society: diverse, multilingual, and a family. The immigrants who come to TCH each year also benefit from our multilingual, multi-service approach. They're here because they want the American dream, just like everyone else. And we help them on the road to achieve that. The immigrants who've come to TCH improve their English skills, find jobs, get their citizenship, and learn how to function in American society. They go on to higher education, to start small businesses, to be teachers and coaches, and raise children who are successful workers and professionals in our community. They become citizens and voters, actively participating in our civic life. We also believe that our community benefits because immigrants and refugees are part of the community and contribute to its vitality. They remind us of those values that we hold dear, that we learned from our immigrant parents or grandparents. They enrich our culture with their cuisine, with their entrepreneurial spirit, with their music, with their faith traditions. Like so many other immigrants who have come before them, they add to the tapestry that is the United States, a multicultural and diverse society. We have learned to appreciate the struggles and challenges that immigrants and refugees face, and their resilience and strength to overcome them, to make a new life for themselves and their families, is an inspiration to all of us. All of us can experience these rewards and contribute to the success stories of immigrant integration. You can volunteer with an immigrant organization like ours to serve as a tutor, a classroom aide, or an advocate. You can be an advocate for humane immigration policies and services. You can support organizations like those who are honored here tonight. Learning about immigrant cultures and traditions, welcoming them into your community is a very important way to achieve that two-way integration process. I can testify to the power of knowing and embracing both my ancestors' culture and the American culture. I feel very fortunate to have the benefit of both cultures in my life and to work every day with immigrants and to those who support their efforts. So thank you again for this honor and the prize money. We will share the award proudly with our staff, our volunteers, and our participants, and we will use the funds to maintain and improve our work with immigrants. Thank you.